All right, we had a bit of a distraction today, but anyway, I got this last runner tacked in. Pretty happy with the fitment on here. Hello everyone, welcome back to the EasyFab YouTube channel. What you saw me do last video was bang out this header. It's done. What you did not see me do is knock this hot side up pipe out. It wasn't super exciting. Turned out really nice. We got a vibrant double slip collector in there, which is this here. So these are two pieces that just slide together. They have a positive fit connection, so there is no leak. That allows for a little bit of play in the exhaust. If you don't know, stainless tube grows quite a bit. We have seen upwards of an inch over the length of a full exhaust. So if, say, the exhaust lands at the rear bumper, we have seen them, when they're hot, extend an inch past the rear bumper. So a slip is definitely required. Most turbo systems we use flexes, but the high horsepower, high back pressure situations we tend to put the slips in. We've seen the flexes come apart and cause issue there or cause excessive back pressure. So anyway, we're using slips on this one. So header's done, this side's done. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna pull this half-finished header off and we're gonna get the collector placed. I ordered a couple 2.5 inch tight radius elbows because we are going to go from the turbo flange here up to the collector, and I don't know if you can tell, but there's a very little room here. So they should be here, I don't know, hopefully tomorrow or the next day. What I also went ahead and did was mounted the barrel for my back pressure sensor. We are going to monitor back pressure through the Holly this go around. So there will be a sensor stick out the top here, and then there is 1/8 MPT fitting down here. We're going to weld in a bung in the exhaust. On both crossovers, this is going to be a true divided setup, so both of these up pipes are going to have their own 1/8 MPT fitting welded in, and then an AN fitting that will have a cap on one side. We'll monitor one side at a time. Probably won't ever change it, but especially when we're shaking this thing down and checking it, I'll be jumping back and forth on those just to make sure as the boost goes up, we're not going to have any issue with back pressure, which we shouldn't, but it's always nice to know boost versus back pressure. I am not the king of knowledge on this, but I have heard that it should be like a 1-to-2 ratio. Basically, if you're running 25 pounds of boost, you should have no more than 50 pounds of back pressure. We have seen in non-divided setups where we do like a log manifold and push them really hard, we have seen, you know, almost 1-to-3 ratio. So 20 pounds of boost, you'd have 60 pounds of back pressure, which seems like a lot, but anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna pull this header off and we'll start setting that collector up where I think it should be, and then maybe get a runner or two done. All right, kids, I got number 4 and number 6 runners done. This header is going to look totally different than the other one, which is fine. This is a pretty asymmetrical engine bay anyway, but what we got going on here is something like so. This one is going to wrap up and kind of mirror this one, land on top, and then this one will come back and hit number 8. The reason that I pushed the collector way further back on this side versus that one is obviously because of where the turbo is, and this one I'm actually going to weld the slip collector right to the header collector, because once those short elbows come in, that's going to wind up right there, and this is a slip collector. It literally just slides apart, so there's actually no reason even to have a V-band on that side. If I ever need to pull the header off, I can just slide it off. So I got these two fully welded up. I'm just waiting for this now to cool down, and I'll put it on the truck and show you guys where we're at. But that's probably going to be it for tonight. 6 out of 8 runners done. Also, if you see that versus the actual nice coloring, if you're getting low on your bottle, don't be lazy, change it, because that'll happen. So I tried to push it, and I lost. Not a huge deal, because it's going to be 97% covered, because especially with the downpipe coming around here, so not the end of the world. But yeah, don't be lazy, because you'll get bit. All right, there it is, looking pretty cool. So this is a long radius elbow, and you can see how tight this is all going to be. I got to hard line some AC lines out of here. This is going to get pushed in. I can trim probably most of this off to be able to squeeze an elbow in if I need to. Worst case scenario, I can trim some out of this collector still if I need to. There's lots of cheating space available to make things work still. I just got the shipment notification that the elbows are on the way, so I'm really hoping they're going to be here tomorrow, because what I will do then is I will actually build this hot pipe first before I build the other two headers, and then that will allow me to tack this on really well, and I'll be able to make this without having to kind of eyeball it. So once that's all done, then I got to figure out where to put wastegates. And usually I like to put them side by side, have twin screamer pipes, but with the amount of room that's being taken up there, I'm not sure what to do yet. I may actually bring this fender, the fenders for this thing are in my garage at home. I'd like to bring the fender in, be able to build that great big sewer pipe for good, and also plan my wastegate locations. Here's the options. We can have both of them over there, or we can have one over here and one over here, and run one screamer pipe out the bumper here and one screamer pipe out the bumper there. My old setup, I only ran one wastegate because it was all through one manifold. It was like a log style, and if you guys are familiar with this truck, it came out the bumper. So, I mean, we got options. I'd like to know your opinions. Maybe we'll do one of them over here. Might be not that bad, because I don't know, we're gonna hardline everything anyway, so it's not like it's gonna look untidy. I'm open to opinions, but I'm pretty happy with how this is all coming together. I'm still glad that I ditched the equal length header thing, so I feel like I made the right move. This one's gonna look badass. That one looks badass. They look totally different, but they still look awesome. I'm gonna head her home for the night. This thing's hungry and has had enough, so we're out of here. See you tomorrow. All right, guys, it's Saturday. We're back to finish this header, and as you can see, the truck has been kicked off the hoist. We got some other projects in the shop for customers that are way more important than my own. So here we are. I went ahead yesterday, and finished up this hot side. So we now have both the collectors running straight into the turbo. All we got to do is finish the two runners on this side, and then we got to figure out where to put some wastegates on this unit. I also got this week, just another little module for the Holly setup that allows us to add some more inputs and outputs, aka we can run more sensors, get more data, control more, whatever. So that's super important, because I really want to have an abundance of data in this system. And yeah, you can see that I just kind of jammed this dipstick tube in there. I think we'll be able to make it work, but I might have to get a flexible one, which is not the end of the world either. So I'm going to go ahead, pull this header off, and we'll start making the other two runners. That's what I have got going on for runner number 2. So I'm going to weld this one out, and then I'm hoping, since we have these elbows that are slightly longer radius, I'll be able to scooch that up in there like that, and then we'll come up and over this one kind of like that and fire back into number 8, which will leave us then a ton of room for our 5-inch downpipe. So I'm going to weld this one out, get it tacked to the flange, and then we will start with number 8. All right, we had a bit of a distraction today. My buddy Evan came, welded out our new chassis table because we're gonna absolutely destroy this poor Jimmy shortly. We're gonna make a video on that. If you follow us on Instagram, you've seen me post about a back half. That's what's happening to that poor thing. So we'll post a video, but it's gonna be one video and it's gonna be when the truck's done. But anyway, I got this last runner tacked in. Pretty happy with the fitment on here. Lots of room for a 5-inch pipe. Good fitment on that last runner. We can still get all the spark plugs nice and easy. Still get all the hardware pretty easy. Valve cover can still come off. It kind of checks all the boxes. So I am going to pop this bugger off and get it welded. We'll get the spike welded on the 4 tube joints, and then we'll get the collector welded on, and this one, thank God, is done. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm exhausted. It's midnight on Saturday, but we have a deadline, and with that, I introduce you to our second finished header. Turned out really well. Hot side is, for all intents and purposes, now complete, other than wastegates. We gotta get the wastegates in, and we gotta get the 2 bungs welded in for our back pressure sensor. But I feel very accomplished. I feel very tired. But I'm really happy with how that header turned out. I'm torn for the next video. Should we do the downpipe or should we do wastegate placement? They both obviously have to happen, but I'm torn which one's gonna happen first. So what do you guys wanna see next? Wastegates or a sewer pipe? Let me know, and we'll see you in a few days. Bye. We're done, I promise.